Let me ask you something. What if today was your forever? What if you had to live this exact day on a loop, forever and ever? That single question is right at the heart of this incredible story about a woman named Li Dongju, a woman who looked her life dead in the eye and decided to completely rewrite the script.
The poet Mary Oliver asks this question that honestly just kind of stops you in your tracks. It's the question that really fuels this entire journey, so just let it sink in for a minute. What is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
Okay, so let's get real personal with it. Think about your day today. The morning alarm, the coffee, the commute, the meetings, the errands. If this was it, this exact day, on repeat forever, would you be happy? For the woman at the center of our story, the answer to that was a huge, resounding no.
So before this epic transformation we're going to talk about, Li Dongju, or Li as she likes to be called, was living that life on repeat. And it was a life that felt small. It felt confined. It felt like a life that was chosen for her, not by her. This is the image Li used to describe herself. A frog in a well. Just picture that for a second. You're at the bottom of a well, you can only see this tiny little patch of sky, and you have no idea that there's this huge, wide-open world just beyond those stone walls. That was her reality.
And this slide right here, this lays out the whole shebang. On one side, you've got the frog, trapped, dependent, totally unfulfilled. And on the other side, the wolf, free, fiercely independent, and absolutely fearless. The difference is just wow. And the story of how she got from one to the other is what this is all about.
So how in the world does a frog even begin to get out of the well? Well, it starts with a spark. Just a single, totally unexpected moment that can change, everything.
And it was really this simple. Back in 2013, she just saw a group of cyclists fly past her, and something about their energy, their movement, their freedom, it just lit a fire inside her. It sparked a possibility she hadn't even let herself dream of. But that little spark of a dream immediately slammed into a very, very harsh reality. This was her reality. After getting laid off from a factory, this was her monthly pension, a little over $400. How do you possibly fund a global cycling adventure on that? For most of us, that's where the dream would have just ended.
And if her pension seemed like a massive hurdle, this was her starting line. When that dream first took hold, this was the grand total of her savings, less than $24. That's not just a challenge. For pretty much anyone else, that's the end of the conversation. Full stop.
But Li, she didn't give up. She started with the one thing she could actually control. See, she couldn't afford a bike, but she could afford a helmet, so she went out and bought one. Then, her son gifted her a simple folding bike, and for an entire year, she worked as a house cleaner, saving every single cent. She wasn't waiting for the perfect moment, she was building it, one tiny, determined piece at a time. So, with her hard-earned savings and her bike, she was finally ready. But, as she was about to find out, the road out of the well is never a straight line. Her very first big trip was going to test her in ways she could never have imagined.
She managed to join two experienced cyclists for a trip to Southeast Asia. This was it. The dream was actually happening. But only 7 days into the journey, everything completely fell apart. Her companions, they just left her, abandoned her. So now she's a total beginner on a really basic bike all alone in Vietnam. This could have been the end of the story, the moment the frog tumbles right back to the bottom of the well for good. But with the help of a kind stranger, she found her way home. Not defeated, but determined. And that setback, it didn't break her, it forged her. She realized that depending on other people, that was the old way. That was the frog's way of thinking. The wolf had to learn to hunt alone. And just look at this progression. After that disaster in 2013, she didn't quit. She trained. By 2015, she's cycling across China. By 2017, she's ready to face Southeast Asia again. And by 2019, she's taking on the whole world. This is not some overnight success story. This is a testament to building resilience one pedal stroke at a time. And this is the pivotal moment. On her second trip to Southeast Asia, her new companions wanted to go home after just 3 weeks. Kind of sounds familiar, right? But this time was different. The Li from 2013, the frog, would have gone home. The Li of 2017, she kept on pedaling, solo.
And by making that choice, by choosing to go on alone, she opened herself up to a whole world of experiences she never would have had otherwise.
I mean, these aren't just tourist snapshots. These are moments of real human connection. She's fumbling through conversations with bartenders using Google Translate. She's learning the local secrets, like how to get cheap baguettes from grandmas in France. She's meeting kindred spirits, like an 80-year-old woman hiking solo. She even helped prevent a disaster in Australia by alerting police to a wildfire. She wasn't just seeing the world anymore. She was participating in it.
But you know, all those miles, all those countries, that was just the external journey. The real transformation, the one that really mattered, was happening on the inside.
You see, for 10 years after her divorce, Li had struggled with depression. And somehow, through this journey, the movement, the purpose, the connection, she found that it had lifted. It's just this incredible testament to the healing power of chasing a dream. And of course, a quick disclaimer, this isn't medical advice, but it is Li's powerful personal truth.
And here we have it. The journey is complete. The frog is gone. And in her place stands the wild wolf. Free, fearless, independent. She didn't just change her location on a map, she changed her very identity.
So now, the question flips back to you. Li's dream seemed absolutely impossible with less than $24 to her name. So what's your impossible dream? You know the one you dismiss before you even let yourself really think about it.
You don't have to cycle across the globe, but what's your version of buying the helmet? What is the one tiny, totally manageable step you can take today, not tomorrow, today, to start shifting from the life you have towards the life you really, truly want?
Because here's the ultimate takeaway from all this. Your forever loop is playing right now, in this moment. Li's story proves that every single one of us has the power to change the script. So the only question left is the story you're living today one you'd be proud to live forever?